Sometimes a back doesn't block like he should, or sometimes a guy runs the wrong route and quarterback, instead of throwing it up for grabs, I'd rather him take a sack than throw a pick. So, there's a little bit of that going on, but on the other hand, you got some pretty good pass rushers, which is good. You got to give them credit too. You want your defense to have some success as well. So I don't have a big concern right now with that.
Coach, from when you took the job to now, are there a few guys who you could mention who you feel have really developed well and really moved high on the learning curve then?
I just think the whole group. I mean, today we watched cut-ups of everything we've done to this point, by the plays we called the most to the ones we called the least. And when you watch the first couple days of practice, it's comical for all of them. Really, they're looking at it like they could see how bad their footwork was, or a decision was, or a route was, or just so many things that just weren't even close to being right. And then as the tape went on, everybody got better and better. So I just think as a unit, I think as a team, we're slowly getting where we need to get. It was probably, I don't know what practice it was. It seemed like the second day in shoulder pads and helmets that we started to even resemble some kind of execution on offense, to where it looked like the play we called was run. Early on, it didn't look good, and I'm sure the guys were wondering there for a minute if what we were putting in was any good. But over time, we've gotten better at executing it. So I just think as a group, they've done a nice job.
Is that then a progression of going from players thinking to just playing?
It is. I mean, it's a learning curve. Just like if you ride a bike, you're going to start trying to ride it, and you're going to fall down a few times. You're going to mess up, and hopefully you don't get hurt bad enough where you never want to try again. But that's the whole point. When you fail at something, as you're learning it, you got to get back on and try again, and just keep banging away. And over time, you start to master it, and then before you know it, you gain confidence, and then they play faster, like we're talking about, on both sides of the ball. But the good thing is we've installed a bunch. I would say at least 80% of what we're going to give them, we've put in offensively, and the rest will be maybe little curve balls here and there off of something that we create a tendency on. So they'll have the experience of the great majority of the system. So from now until two-a-days start, they're going to have a chance to really become more and more familiar with it. And nowadays, in the summertime, the guys stick around and they work out. They go do pass skill, 7-on-7. They'll do stuff against each other and pass rush and all that. And so all summer long, they'll be doing things to help them get to the point where when we start camp and we install something, day one, it will be so much different.
Level.
So much different. Yeah.
Coach, the format of the spring game, how do you run your spring games? What can people expect?
We'll have two sides. We'll have I don't know if it'll be orange and green. It may be orange and green, as a matter of fact. We'll have an orange team and a green team, and we'll be on different sidelines, and we'll run plays. We won't kick off. We'll spot the ball probably at the 25 or something like that. We'll punt the ball, but we won't rush the punt. We'll punt them and field them and move the ball 40 yards. Extra point field goal we'll do live. I think we've got enough work in that. We'll be able to do that.
How do you pick your teams?
Well, it's going to be our number one offense with the number 2 and 3 defense versus the number 1 defense with the number 2 and 3 offense. But we'll split the coaching staffs. There'll be some offense on each sideline, some defensive coaches on each sideline. We'll just play a game.
Mark, from a player procurement standpoint, next week, do you have a sense yet of what you think you need to look for this team for next season, in terms of, do you need to add a fullback at some point this summer, another cornerback from the JC route or from transfers? Do you have a feel for what you need?
I don't know how many spots we got. I mean, right now, we're limited in the number of spaces we have available to give anybody a scholarship. Sometimes after spring ball and exit meetings and stuff like that, sometimes young men decide to try another spot to get a better chance of playing time, or there's attrition for different reasons, which may free up a spot or two. But right now, we do have some needs at fullback. We have needs at corner. We have needs at receiver, in my opinion. And I only got one spot right now, or at least limited spots. And we may end up with more than that. If more free up, it'll be easier for me to maybe get one of each, but we're not there right now.
All right, guys, last question.
Mark, where does Stacy stand health-wise?
You know, I don't know. He was trying to see how it felt. I don't think it was a real severe pull. He was actually to the point where he did some things yesterday in the weight room that would make you think he's got a chance to get back by the game. But I mean, we're not going to push it unless he feels great.
David looked like he took a pretty good pop in Quarterman. Is he okay? Njoku?
Well, yeah, they took some good shots. I don't know. I got to find out how he's doing. I think he's fine. He got up and walked off. Just hurt for a while.
Coach,
Great.
do you-
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.